G'day folks. Well, over the years we have filmed hundreds of incredibly talented people across the world. Many of these artists have gone on to produce their own videos as well. We hope you enjoy this great lesson from one of our Colour in Your Life artists.
We're going to work a little bit more on blocking in the background, and then we're going to work on our lizard. First of all, we're going to get this all to the same level. So I'm going to use a couple of greens. Now, if you don't have the colours that I've got and you don't have them, don't worry about it. You can use the colours that you have, make it into a jungle, maybe, or just have a break and watch. So put the leaf on, and this one here, a little bit here. So I'm just marking in where these front ones are, because that way I don't lose them. Remember, with the PastelMat, it's wonderful stuff, and we are able to go over the top of light and dark quite easily. And some of you have been doing beautiful work, and I'm sure when I finally get to see it when you put it up, I'll be very surprised. That's a hint, people. Let us see what you've got. So I'm only using one colour at the moment. It doesn't really matter because I'm just marking in where they're going. Remember, blocking in. It's like this bit here is greenery, that bit there's greenery. And if you want to change some, just change it. Doesn't matter. So we've got some that come down here. Let's see, in front of this one. And it goes up past that one. It's quite a thin bit. Does it go behind there? I wonder. I think it might be, let's put it through here. Make it up as I go along. How's that? I just want to put a little bit of yellow here where that lovely interesting bit is, because we like those. Right. I'm going to use this lovely 172. We call it Australian gum leaf because it's a lovely gum leaf green. I think it's called earth green or green earth, but it's a nice grey green. Okay, that one there, this one here. And these are just to show the differences in the leaves. Okay, we've got down here, we've got one here. Oh, what's this lovely one here? Doing a little flip here. There. Lovely. So see how I get excited about all the different shapes? That's because having the same shape blades of grass is just wrong. The same as all your leaves. If all your leaves are facing the same way, all facing towards you, that's wrong. The wind blows them, they move into different directions. Some of them are fat and thin, some of them are sideways, some of them are chewed. So we'll make it as natural looking as we can. There's a nice one here. Bring that further down, I think. There we go. Such a cute little New Zealand lizard, this one. Okay, well, I've got this one. And I'm sorry if you haven't got enough of the pastel pencils, if you're new to pastel pencils. The thing was that we had to give you some colours, or suggest some colours, but sometimes I'm wrong. I can go over the top of this, doesn't matter. This looks like some kind of a little fern. A lot of ferns in New Zealand. moving this one over so we get less. Good. One up here. Yeah, there's a couple of interesting shapes through here. Because this is all going to be blurry, of course. Front ones aren't, but these back ones are. Depth of field can be adjusted with the camera, and we can just copy those. This one here is similar to this one, but it's going the other way. I've got one there. That's a different colour. So this is basically a code to tell me when I come back what I have to do with it. So I've got a green one here. And that comes down there. And what do we got up here? Aha. Don't be too worried if it doesn't look exactly right. It's a background. And I know I'm repeating myself all the time, but it'll sink in sometime. And you'll have an aha moment, like, yes, that's what she was talking about. Just take it all the way through when you're trying to make a long one, because it's much easier to adjust it afterwards. You just get your other colour and just get rid of the one you don't want. See, easy. Through there, there's a green bit here. Green bit here. And these are quite, my paper curved. It's very hard to keep it down when it's curved. Let's see. All right, so we'll go a lighter green. Or if you want to, you can go yellows and then put the other green on. I might do that actually. So these ones here, a little bit of yellow. This shape here, that's light there. Oh, this is the other colour. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving the white bit and all the rest is going to be coloured with yellow. Yellow first because white is the lightest, and then of course we've got yellow. Can do dark colours as well if you want, but I find it easier to just work with what we've got. And everybody knows that it's easier to put light under dark. I have to put some more green through there, but let's see. Let's put that green with the yellow. I'm not pressing very hard, I'm just letting the pastel mat take it by itself. There's quite some browns and greys down here. I'll put them over the greens, that'll keep it all matching together. Once the background's done, there's no need to worry anymore because it will be then only the lizard and the rocks. Green bits here, there's a big whitey bit there. I'll put it over here, that looks good. little ovals. So this might be, the light bits might be reflections of highlights on the leaves, might be sections of rocks in the background that are quite bright, and we don't really have to explain what it is, we just have blurry. So when you're doing this sort of thing, you look at what you've got and you want the feeling of that. You want the feeling of dense, grassy stuff in the background, but you don't want to spend too much time doing it. So it's the feeling, the atmosphere, the idea of what you're looking at that is more important than getting it to look exactly like your photo. Sometimes if you get it looking exactly like the photo, you're copying all the boo-boos from the photographer as well. In my case, it's usually my boo-boos. All right, let us put light grey on, 270, where the white is going. Oh, get down there. I'm going over the edges of the colours that are already on there, so a little bit of overlap. Good coverage, and I'm just checking if there's any other bits that I need to put in. I'll just do all of this grey because that'll get fixed afterwards. Nice even coverage. If it's not even, go back and redo it. That's our rock. So you can see it's looking quite busy now. Just put some light on these so I can see where the highlights are going on the leaves. So when we're talking about light and dark, we don't necessarily mean black and white. What we mean is in relation to everywhere around it, is it lighter or is it darker? So if you've got a navy blue shirt and I say, is that piece of material lighter or darker? You can say, well, the navy blue t-shirt is darker than the cream bit of material, but it's lighter than the black bit of material. So all this adjusting, light, dark, it's all tonal. There's a big bit of white up here. Okay, is all the paper covered? Most of it is. All right. Let's see, this bit around here, we're just going to put some yellow on. Naples yellow will work as well. There's a flat bit. When you're colouring rather than doing strokes, you don't have to go in the same direction all the time. In fact, it's usually better if you can vary your direction. So if the layer underneath is one way, go a different way. It helps fill in all the gaps. Remember, overlap the edges. Down here there's going to be dark. Over there there's going to be dark. A few bits behind here dark. Negative spacing is wonderful. It's where you go in between things to make up a busier look. Find the shapes. Right. Just going to get, this is 175. 173, sorry, which is an olivey green, because some of these are a bit darker. You can put a little bit of dark sepia over your green and then mix it in again. See how I'm holding it in position so that it reaches and my wrist can do the work. Do that curve. Move that. A darker bit in here. So I'm looking at the shapes. I'm not saying let's do this grass, got to do this grass, I'm just looking at the shapes. This bottom bit's darker. And then it goes a little darker here. This bit's darker, where it's in the shadow. Backgrounds can be quite fun because you can use backgrounds from other photos, other areas that you particularly like. I often use the backgrounds out of the trees that are behind my place. My kitchen window shows me some really nice gum trees, a lot of different ones, and I quite like using those ones. So some of my rocks and trees have been in quite a few different pictures. When you find a good, useful looking shaped tree, take a photo and keep it in your reference. Unless of course it's at your house and you can watch it grow. Okay, what's up here? We've got some dark here. Dark here. What's this bit dark behind here. So look at the shapes, not what you're drawing. I'm nearly ready to give it a blend. Tidy that edge. I might put a bit more green on that. Some of these I'm going to add a little bit of flesh colour to the edges because I want them to look chewed, used and lived near. Okay, dark here. This one here is darker. Put that one on. Shape of a triangle, put it on, fill it in. What happens down here, we've got to put that one on. And sometimes I just choose the one next to it because I like the look of it. Remember, your photo's not perfect. Photos tell lies. And sometimes we want to adjust the image to make it look like we say. There we go, that one there can go. I'll leave the top of it light. Come down here. Bring it forward. Just so we say this is in front. I like that one there. Behind, there we go. Blocking in is also good because it allows you to put the idea down of the picture and you don't have to paint it straight away or draw it. You get the idea down and then later on you can come back to it and say, oh, that's right, I was going to do this. It joins the list of unfinished paintings. UFPs. Okay. Dark sepia, I think. 175. Put a few bits in here. Now we've got, what have we got down here? We've got a lot of bits, so what we'll do is just put a few shapes in. That's the edge of the rock, so outline that by putting something behind, and that's a light bit, so through there. What can we put over here? Nothing much, it's still light. So just put some soft shapes in. There's a bit of dark here. So if you've got something here, it's always a good idea to put some on the other side of whatever it is you're going behind, because if you've got something behind a stick or an area or a little bit of leaf, if you put all the way behind, it pushes what you've got in front further forward. Don't really need that. Okay, over here, this one here, I'll do a little bit darker. Not pressing very hard, just a little bit. The fibres are picking it up by itself. Fibres of the paper, that is. Okay, down here we have the bottom of that rock. A little bit of gentle scribble to add texture. Behind here we have That's the edge of the rock, so I'm going to put a little bit of dark here. There's some up here. Break that through. Put the edge of his nose in highlight. Up here, a little bit of negative spacing. One of the things you should learn is negative spacing. Greatest way to draw lots and lots of grass, and you use it a lot in leaf litter and stuff. Okay, so if that's now a different part, different bit of, that's a new bit of leaf or grass. That's dark, that's dark. What's through here? Not much. I'll put a line through here. Just because there's an area there that's full of nothing. Can't have it full of nothing. Alright. That's our dark sepia. Now first green, which is 168, but it could be, what have we got here? 170 or whatever green you've got. Just going to very lightly use that to colour some of these. Blend the colours together. Softly go around the edges of the dark sepia. See how using another colour over the top just smudges it in. I'm not pressing very hard. Just making sure all the colours smudge. We will be doing it with our finger afterwards, it's just that this is also a good way. Also adds a bit more pastel to your paper. You can see straight away bits that haven't been smudged because they're harder. See all these bits here? So if I come through with the green, give it a bit of a smudge, you can see they go softer. You can do this with grey as well, or blue, depending on, well, you can do it with any colour you want to. Any colour that's in your picture will work. Okay. Give it a bit of a rub. Smudge all those edges. Helping hand of green over the top has made it so that it's nice and easy. Now I'm just going to come inside some of these lighter ones, put that back down again. It's untrainable, this piece of paper. Okay, so start in the middle very lightly with the white, 101. Don't want it white, but I do want it to be lighter in the middle, like an out of focus photograph. You can be as meticulous as you want with these bits. Some people like to do a lot of fiddling with them. Others are quite happy just to get them all filled in. Seems to be a little bit of light up here too. You'll find that the pastel where there is no pastel or not enough pastel on the paper will go brighter. And it'll go softer where it's already got lots of pastel on it. Right, up here. Nope, up here. Rather than fill all these leaves in where they're light, I'm just going to put a couple of straight veins on it. Whiter up the top. It just gives it a little bit of texture. Ones that are blurry are filled in. Ones that are further closer to us can have a bit of detail. And the background's not going to be as detailed as the foreground, otherwise it would be the same level, and we don't want that. We want the lizard to come forward. Now, these bits here that are out of focus, I just make the edges rounded. No sharp points. Okay. Let's put a couple of little bits of yellow on the ends. I might need brown actually. See. A couple of little bits of real chewed up stuff, and it already starts to look more normal. If you have any on the back, it has to be quite blurry. Okay. I think that's good to go for the moment. I might put a few little bits of brown in here. The background's all blocked in now. And when we put the detail on, that's when we will come and check what we've got to do. Oh, I've lost his toe. Okay, he's got a toe up here. He's got one here that you can just see the top of. And he's got one up here. Claw and his toe. Poor lizard, can't cut his toe off. Okay, there might even be a little bit of brown just in here, just to show he's quite low to the ground. Right. Let's clean up the edges of these rocks. Only the ones that are in front. So I'm putting a little bit of light on here and sort of like scribble. Quite small and close together here. And then using a lot less pressure on here. The rest of it. What works really well on this is a toothbrush with, or a brush with a little bit of water right at the end. Little speckles on the rocks work really good. This has a light bit here, a light bit there, and that's a darker part. Right. This bit here is in the background, so I'm just going to soften that edge there. A little bit of dark sepia just touched on here, so I can come right up to the line. A little bit of the grey to smudge it in. this one here. And back to the white. And put these green ones down. Now the top of this is reasonably flat, a little pebble, so I'm going to do it more scribble stroke flatter, a bit like the leaflet where you lay lines across. Softer down here and then harder up here. Not hugely hard, but just a little bit harder than down the bottom, because this is be darker. Up here's lighter. It looks like there's another rock just here as well. Oh, this is going across here and then down a bit and then all soft. So you can contour scribble as well, like I'm doing here, to help form the shapes of the rocks and the texture. And this one comes up to here and it has a dark patch in the middle there where it's got a dip, and then it's got the light. It's always looking at different rocks, different shapes of trees, different bark, all of those things. They all help to make a history of what nature looks like in your head, which means you can call on it any time. Okay. Dark sepia 175. Just looking at this, and I can see that it's quite a lot darker down here. And you'll notice I haven't had to sharpen my pencils because they're very long. I might bring that down there. So a bit of brown. Back to dark sepia. What about this one? Not too much, a little bit of dark there and some dark here, but not a huge amount. Just a matter of changing the pressure. When you want it quite dark, you just have to press a little harder. When you want it quite light, press softer. This one is interesting. It's got a dark bit here. And the dark here comes up to here. Very soft. Now we've also got our little spikes here, which we don't want to lose. Right. Put a little bit over the top of those. Looks a little bit dark there. Do a little bit on this one, but we won't be finished that one until we've done the lizard. Got the picture, the reference. Put this on here. A little bit of dark. Just put that so I can see where those bits are. And underneath here, where the claws and the foot, so this bit here and these bits here are touching the rock, but underneath isn't. That's why you see the shadow. Over here, of course, the foot, the palm is, so that is touching the rock, so the shadow is right up against it. In your head, you should be going messy, 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 messy. Lots of messies. One way, other way. Scribbles all over. The edge here of the rock is underneath the leaf. There. A little bit dark in here. Wait, there's more. 270 is now going to be very gently rubbed over the dark we've just done. The more layers you do, the better it looks. Even though sometimes you really wish you didn't have to do that many layers. Now we're going to pat it. Oh, this is the back one, so we can rub it. In fact, I'm lazy. Let's rub them all. Rub them all very softly, just to smudge the edges. Still want all that texture on there. Oh look, I forgot one. Here we go. Bit of texture. Okay.